Hi, I'm Leslie Perry, and we are in the CODIS unit of the OSBI. The CODIS unit is responsible for developing DNA profiles that have been collected from those who have been convicted and arrested for serious crimes here in Oklahoma. And then we will put all of those profiles in a database and we'll search them against unsolved crimes in the hopes that we can provide investigative leads to agencies. This is our storage area, and you can see here we keep the kits that we provide to the collection agencies. We have been collecting samples since 1996 here in Oklahoma, and we still collect them today, and we probably will be for a very long time. This is the CODIS punch room. After the samples are logged in, we start here for the analysis process. The samples come to us like this. We have a DNA card where a swab of saliva is pressed onto a special paper that allows us to store them at room temperature, and that makes us able to take a standard punch from that area. After we finish punching the samples, we bring them into here. This is called the amplification room. And the first step once we're in here is to do something called amplification on the DNA, where we make multiple copies of the areas that we're interested in. After the samples have been amplified, we're ready to run them on our instrument and actually be able to see the fragments in a graphic form. And that's what allows us to actually come up with the DNA profile itself, which consists of a series of numbers that we can then put into our database. We use this to separate the DNA fragments that we made during the amplification process. And also during the amplification process, we've added these dyes to the fragments that this instrument can see. If we get a match in the database, we go through what's called a hit verification process. During that process, we double check everything having to do with the sample before the information is released. We check the demographic information on the card and make sure it matches up to that on the criminal history. There's a fingerprint that's collected at the time of DNA collection that we compare to the criminal history for the individual to make sure that the correct person was collected. And we double check the DNA by rerunning the entire sample to make sure there were no issues with the original analysis. If everything checks out after that process, we'll release the information about the individual to the agency that was submitting the case that it hit to.